Well, welcome everybody to my YouTube video. It's February 12th, 2022. I am Ralph Schultz and I'm broadcasting from Albuquerque, New Mexico, United States of America. Interesting thing, I looked at my analytics and only 54% of my views are coming from the United States, which pleased me. So we're probably getting some Canada and a lot of Western Central Europe in there. I sure hope so. Because this is what you need to hear. You need to hear it from a source that's not an expert paid a few $100,000 a year to appear on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox. Yes, sirree. Just an average person trying to make a living. But I'm not. I'm just having fun and feeling like I'm doing something very worthwhile. So, здравствуйте, пожалуйста, слушайте и учитесь. What does that mean? Well, it means hello, how are you? Please listen and learn. That's what all this is about. I'm not going to do video 9 today. I'm going to do that in a couple days, probably around the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, why not? Today it's a special report about war in the Ukraine, some of the things I've heard. I thought it's worthwhile putting a few minutes in here. And the topic is Ukraine invasion or not. You know, after watching several news shows in the last couple days and this morning, it finally dawned on me. It came to me, my thinking cleared, and I realized Russia is planning to and will invade the Ukraine within 2 weeks. Probably some people think within a few days, by the 16th, Wednesday. Even if the Olympics are still on, it doesn't matter anymore. It's ironic that when they went into the Crimea in 2014, the Olympics were just ending at February 20th. So, take a quick look at some of the weapons the Russians have in the U.S. The Russians have the Iskander intermediate range missile. They have the highly respected Su-400 anti-aircraft missile. It's an anti-aircraft device with small missiles for use, I believe, under about 50 miles. And we see a Russian frigate. This is one of their main ships. It's a smaller, very mobile ship, but it's armed and has high-tech frequency detection equipment. And 6 of these just floated around, sailed. They don't sail anymore, from the Baltic around Ireland through the Mediterranean and are entering the Black Sea waters to cover the Ukraine coast. How about a maneuver, of course. So, why is this invasion going to occur? Because there are huge combat-ready troops massed next to the Ukraine border, particularly at Crimea, the Donbass, and north of Kiev, about 60 miles in Belarus. Literally 2 days they figure to work their way down to Kiev. The idea is to occupy some strategic ground, not big swaths of the country, and surround key cities, not enter them, no urban warfare, and cause the current government in Kiev to collapse and be replaced by a provisional government favorable to Russia, and maybe look representative to an extent. President Putin strongly believes Russia is in danger because if the Ukraine was in NATO or had informally been supported by individual countries, which they could be, let's say by France now, or the U.S., outside of NATO, Ukraine would attack Crimea to regain it back from Russia, as they have stated. It's in their policy. And the Donbass. There's no compromise there. That's what could possibly happen. Probably would. So, the Ukraine has promised to get it back, and in defending Korea, it would set off Article 5, which means other NATO nations would come to the assistance of Ukraine, or the informally engaged ones that were individually defending Ukraine, which could be the U.S., could be the U.S. this time. And boom, we'd have a huge war. Russia would have to retaliate. And there's no telling what would happen because they would feel it's an existential threat to the safety and existence of their homeland. And they have said they might use tactical nuclear weapons, which are small. But I said one tactical nuclear weapon could maybe blow away an entire football stadium. Okay. This is stated in their published military priority doctrine. You can get it on the internet. So by changing the current government in Ukraine now, Russia is basically saying it is enhancing peace. This is necessary to invade, to get rid of a dangerously radical right-wing government that has no tolerance whatsoever for Russia and is fanning the flames of violence and intoxicating NATO and the West and the USA with their doctrine. So there could be a future, Russia would be preventing a future catastrophe of a tremendously violent war that could have widespread destruction. That's what they're saying. And they may also create a corridor from Donbass through Mariupol, a city of 1 million people on the Sea of Azov, over to Crimea. Take a look at the map. And Crimea would then be connected to Russia and not have to go over a long bridge. It's basically, there's a tiny connection of Crimea to Ukraine with a canal there, which is the water supply to the Crimea, which the Ukraine's cut off now, and they're playing with the Russian population in Crimea. Nobody hears about that. Okay, and they could go on to Odessa, which has always been a highly Russian type of city, if they wanted to. But these are some of the possibilities. And what we have there, the severe economic sanctions, I don't think they're going to stop President Putin if he really believes there's a possibility of an existential threat. They can weather them. He also will probably consider that an act of war by the United States, because they'll be so severe, and then there's no telling what will happen. Maybe he'll invade Latvia, which is 1/3 native Russian anyway, left over from the Soviet era. And with that, boom, who knows what will happen. It may not be very pleasant. And there's a 40,000 troop NATO reaction force there now. The U.S. just added some more troops to it, which could also intervene. They could come into the Ukraine and fight the Russians now if they feel that Ukraine is really disintegrating fast and the civilian population is getting harmed. So there is no way President Putin can back down now. It's apparent. They're not going to get any good concessions from the West, just small things. And they want it now. They've had it for 10 years, putting up with what they consider hostile nonsense. And if he backs down, just pulls the weapons away, he'll look weak and powerless and lose prestige, as will Russia. And that's exactly what he doesn't want to happen. Okay, so you see, what does it look like to you? So you saw the weapons, it's a selection of them, and Russia is ready to rock and roll, I think, here. And I think Putin is emotionally involved in this. Besides, it's for the glory of Russia and his glory. So I think he may roll the dice and go forward. So all of you, good day, and I'll be talking to you again soon.